Hello, I'm Caitlin Morrison, and I submitted a project for Chapter 12 of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Chapter 12 is quite eventful, as Dr. Seward and Van Helsing, after breaking into Lucy's house, discover that Lucy's mother has died, and they labor in vain to save Lucy. Despite yet another blood transfusion, Lucy succumbs to Dracula's assault and dies in her fiancé Arthur's arms. Other events of note in this chapter include Mr. Hawkins announcing that he has given all his interest in the law firm to Jonathan, and then dying. Finally, there is an account of Renfield temporarily escaping the asylum and attacking two men. Out of all this action, I was most struck by the vivid imagery in this chapter, including the picture of Lucy in bed next to her dead mother, descriptions of her alternately clutching and removing garlic blossoms from about her throat, her ever-sharpening teeth, and contrasts of her paleness juxtaposed with the color of blood. I was inspired to create a soap representing the death of Lucy and combining paleness and blood with elements of garlic blossoms, sharp teeth, and the vampire bat at her window. Although I've been making cold process soap for a few years now, this project inspired me to try out a few new techniques for the very first time. My first challenge was to create the bats, and for this I used a pre-made melt and pour soap base, colored black with activated charcoal. I then cut the bats out using a template. This was my first time combining cold process soap with melt and pour embeds. A second challenge was creating a blood color, which is difficult to do in soap making due to the lightening effect of the off-white soap batter. I was only partially successful, but I am pleased overall with how it came out. The soap will probably lather a bit pink due to the amount of colorant I used. However, I think this will add a nice horror element to the bar. In order to make the soap base paler, I added some white pigment and then used a drop swirl technique to add streaks of blood dripping through the white base. I used chamomile and chrysanthemum flowers on top to create my garlic blossoms, which will continue to wither a suitable brown as the soap ages. Finally, I wanted to try and pipe something reminiscent of sharp teeth onto the top, which, since this was only the second time I've tried piping soap, was a little trying. I definitely should have waited to let the soap firm up a bit more before piping it. In the end, however, I think they came out okay, and that the drops of blood added a nice touch. Finally, I set in my bat embeds and left the soap to sit overnight. The soap is scented with a fragrance oil called Sparkling Fig Cocktail, which is a bit fruity and a bit musky, and I think adds a mysterious quality. I had to carefully space my blossom and bat elements so that each piece had one, and I was pleased with how well that worked. I want to thank everyone at the Cloverdale Performing Arts Center for putting together a great Halloween event, and for the tremendous contributions they have made to the art and culture scene in Cloverdale and Sonoma County. Thank you everyone for watching and supporting CPAC.